Welcome back. You're right on time. If you're just joining us, this is E15, and we're counting down to the 2015 general election. Aaron, President Goodluck Jonathan met T.Y. Danjuma yesterday. We saw T.Y. Danjuma in Aso Rock, and he said he's not in a position to campaign for anybody that is not a politician.
The meeting should be envisaged. And if you look at the meeting very well, it was a fine opportunity for the president, photo op. Danjuma came up from the jeep. The president came up from the villa to welcome him. Head statesman, Nigerian president. Fine, auspicious moment for the cameras, you know, to send a message that I'm in charge and it's coming to visit me. But if you look at the way General Danjuma answered the question yesterday, as usual, he was accosted by the journalist covered as well. And he was not committer. He said he came to visit the man that he's been outside the country. Just
as the president of Nigeria.
Yes. But you see, there's nothing strange, nothing unusual if the president of Nigeria decided to receive visitors. The president of Danjuma, one of the power brokers in Nigeria, whether I like it or not, he's on the power brokers. But
one of the richest.
Absolutely. But if you look at what has been happening, from my own sources, you know, what you went to do was someone connected with March 28 on the need for the president to keep his word and make the election free and fair. There's from my own sources, you know, that now there's tension in the country, you are in charge, ensure the date is met, is fixed, and that's free after elections. But at the same time, the president too can use the opportunity to seek the favor of Danjuma. Don't forget that he's in charge, and you cannot overemphasize his influence in using his office to carry favors, you know. But I think it should be seen like that. But as per the issue of Awudale, I'm not too comfortable. That was the discussion we had before in the studio. Because when I do not remember the president jetting around the country, visiting monarchs, national rulers, in 2011. I can't remember that. And I was very much involved in political reporting. I can't remember that.
No, before their campaign,
before the campaign,
ground,
yes.
First of all,
but not
these obas.
The president has finished his campaign.
Yes,
this second round. He's moving around.
Yes.
And we even learned that during the course of this movement,
it's gathering momentum.
During the course of this visit, during the series of these discussions, some dollars have been changing hands.
We don't have proof of that.
It's not new.
We don't have proof.
No, those are facts. There's on ground now. So my worry is that I want to know, I want to be educated, how these visits will translate to votes. Because I was thinking that the president used this opportunity to tell Nigerians what he has been doing. How he has tackled security. Thank God. Yes, you should be telling us the update, give us the update. Thank God our soldiers
you don't see the visit to traditional rulers strategic enough?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nigerians want to know what he has done and how you improve their lot in the next 4 years.
Ashoma, your opinion on this?
Yeah, let me start with the visit of T.Y. Danjuma. Like he said, definitely in one way or the other, it will be connected to the March 28 election. And also the influence of T.Y. Danjuma is what you can't throw away, especially in that part of the country, in the north central, that he's a Christian.
Even in the country?
Even in the country.
As a whole.
And I want to believe that that visit was planned. The president must have invited him, not just he said, look, I want to visit the president. Because the president, like we've seen reported in several instances, he's been going around seeing traditional rulers and also reaching out to all those that matters in the country. Religious stakeholders. So I think it would be wrong on his side not to have extended hands of fellowship to T.Y. Danjuma, considering the influence, also a former general. And, so it's a normal visit that T.Y. Danjuma is visiting, but I believe it's at the instance of the president. And it might be significant to his own camp, but also we should also look at it beyond to his own camp, whether it's significant, how can it translate to vote at the end of the day is what's most important. I can invite any other person to visit me. will that person have influence in swaying votes to my own side? That is the critical aspect. Now, if you take a look at his visit to Awujale, definitely I want to believe also that traditional rulers, even in this part of the world, have their own influence. Now, it might not be much. It might not be much like we have in the north. If they don't have their own influence, why will you have a situation where you have probably governors breathing down on traditional rulers? So they do have their own influence. It might have diminished, but I also think that, look, the traditional rulers should also be very...
That is the paramount ruler of all the Jabus.
Yeah, and I think traditional rulers should also be very careful. They should also be very careful of great gifts, because you cannot pull down the image you already have. You already have an image that is dwindling in the country. People don't respect traditional institutions, and you should not sell that institution away. So they should be very careful to kind of feel the pulse of their people. Because if your people are going this way, you're supposed to be the leader of your people. The people are going this way, and you want to go that way. It will further bring down your image in the eyes of the public. And I think they should be very careful. Yeah, everybody wants the president
even involved in politics at all. Just bless them. Jide, your take, Tiwa Danjuma and Awujale.
Yes, it was a very important meeting for the president, because the relationship between him and General Danjuma had not been very good. And General Danjuma went to Kano and told the president to arrest the Niger ex-militants who are making all kinds of derogatory and subversive comments, you know, about the country and its people. So naturally, President Jonathan could see that Tiwa Danjuma is not particularly happy, and the reaction of those ex-militants to Tiwa Danjuma asking for their arrest must have further incensed Danjuma as a person, because they now said, look, we are going to go after all your oil installations in the Niger Delta area, and we will destroy your oil installations. You've been a parasite. You are just a Gambari stooge. You know, they use all kinds of terrible, unprintable words on a former Nigerian leader, an elder statesman. So, and this is a man who is strategic to Jonathan's good performance in at least 2 states of the Northeast. Yeah. In the Northeast, the PDP wants to win at least 2 states. That's Taraba, which they won easily in 2011, and Adamawa. And this man is a power broker in that part of the country. He's so strong. He has the resources. He's one of the richest living Nigerians. So that's not the kind of man that you talk to shabbily, you treat shabbily. You know, so the president must have called him. It was a very short meeting, just 15 minutes. He must have called him to apologize for the way those guys spoke. And you will see that in the last few weeks, those militants, they've mellowed down. In fact, the other day, one of them was saying, look, they was campaigning for Jonathan, this and that. So the belligerent language that they've been known for, they've toned down on it. And I'm sure the president must have told Danjuma that, look, we'll take, this will not happen again and all that. And don't also forget, General Danjuma's candidate is today the candidate of the PDP in Taraba State. And he didn't win the primaries by his own powers. The primaries had to be taken to Abuja, where it was rigged in his favor. So the president will feel that, yes, I've done Danjuma a favor, and that I deserve to have him support me in this election, you know. So whatever Danjuma will do... So
how come it did not endorse him yesterday?
No, not everybody would like to endorse people publicly. He's a man of tremendous stature, and his friends cut across the whole country. You know, so such people, have you ever seen Abdulsalami Abubakar endorsing anybody publicly? Have you seen Gadonasco endorsing people publicly? You know, there are some big Nigerians who will never do that.
But Danjuma endorsed Obasanjo publicly.
Who?
Danjuma.
Endorsed?
In 1999.
Okay.
No, but this is...
And he said,
hold on.
He will leave the country if Obasanjo did not win.
Yes, you see, they were the ones who brought Obasanjo.
Yes, now,
don't forget. But they didn't bring this man, no.
No.
No, what I'm saying, look, the reality is...
It depends on the one...
You see what is on ground. This is an election with the potential to polarize Nigerians, whether we like it or not. You see, this is an election that
stakes are high.
The stakes are very high.
Very high.
People, friendships are breaking up.
Very high.
On Facebook, on social media generally, friendships are breaking up because of this election. So you have to be careful. This is not like 1999. 1999, they were the ones who brought Obasanjo to come and contest. And with IBB and the rest of them, even bringing out their money.
And it was a done deal for Obasanjo.
You know, yes. So in such a situation, you were sure that Obasanjo was going to win the election. You know, but in this case, you have to juggle things. You have to juggle the situation. Many of them are sitting on the fence. But in their heart of hearts, they know who they are backing. So that is the reality. It's difficult for many of them to openly come out and say, this is the person. You could even on election day, they could set your house ablaze. It happened in Kano now. When after the election, people went, even the Emir of Kano, respected Emir of Kano, is annexed, the palace annex. They set it ablaze. And Sule Lamido's house in Kano was set ablaze. So people are learning lessons. They would rather sit on the fence than publicly now go and support a particular candidate. What if he doesn't win? You know?
Okay, let's look at the style. Let's look at the style of campaign now. They finished the main rally across the federation, and they have the last rally, which is Abuja. Both candidates, they've not had their formal rally in Abuja. But right now, some people are delivering lectures, some people are meeting stakeholders, and some people are, their wives. Mrs. Goodluck, she has been on campaign trail. Mrs. Mrs. Buhari too, she has been on campaign trail. Let's look at how effective these tactics have been, because a lot of people think that, they've exhausted the money of the opposition.
Yes. If you have to ask me, my take on it is that the APC has been more effective in selling their message, using surrogates, in making sure that what they believe in is resonating with voters. Look at the London visit. Look at yesterday's rally in Kaduna. Look at the walk in Lagos on Saturday. That walk in Lagos Saturday was very instructive. A few days after the documentary on AIT, then Tinubu came out with his people. We are in charge here, for God's sake.
Sure, force.
That was a demonstration of, we are in charge in Lagos. If the PDP knows that they have their own supporters, they should come and show it. So important is you flaunt it. You don't wait for it. So the way I see it is that the APC, I think they are more organized. Look at the brand, according to Jide, which is going up at the stock market. So I think for now they are holding their campaign in the 6 political zones. I think Buhari was also in Lagos.
He's in Port Harcourt now.
He's in Lagos anytime from now again to meet the youth. So I think they are going around, but I think the APC are a bit more effective, and the message they are sending is resonating.
Let's take this call from Alhaji Ibrahim from Niger State. Thank you for joining E15, Alhaji Ibrahim.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Alhaji Ibrahim.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead with your contribution, Alhaji.
Yeah, sir, I discovered for the past 3 weeks, Jonathan has been going to Yoruba Obas. I now say, let me sound a note of warning to our Obas to be careful not to play the line of some of the emirs in the north in the last election, who could not stay in their palaces after the election. Because those ones have to be running helicopters to move back the trust of their people. So that is my warning, sir.
Thank you, Alhaji Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
we acknowledge, I think yesterday we said it on the show, that the Southwest is the battleground.
Absolutely.
That President Jonathan is strong in the southeast, and General Buhari is strong up north, exception of few states. So what can turn the table around is this Southwest. And I think President Jonathan is maximizing this opportunity to penetrate the Southwest more.
Yeah. I think he also understands that arithmetic, and the fact remains that his party, though they control some states in the Southwest, but the popularity of the party over time in the Southwest are kind of dwindled. And it will be very natural, because even if he's strong in the South and feels he's strong in the Southeast, he also needs to be able to garner some votes in the Southwest, so that to help the ultimate goal.
We're expecting nothing less than 12 or 14 million
I think
votes.
it's also his own strategy that, look, let me keep coming in and put pressure on the party that has a stronghold, that has the Southwest as its own stronghold. Let me keep pressure on them, because the APC already has its own vice presidential candidate from the Southwest. So they already have the Southwest comfortable to themselves. And all he's trying to do is that, look, let me see how my party can
penetrate,
also
to be able to cut a large chunk.
No matter, and that is why it's strategic. He's going to meet traditional rulers, because of his own perception that the traditional rulers hold a level of influence. So I could go through them and enter into the people. But how that translates at the end of the day is only made March 28 that will be able to let us know if these traditional rulers exactly have this kind of level of influence that he thinks they have.
Please, sorry, let me ask what you said. In 2011, don't forget, it was when the Southwest supported Jonathan that cemented his elections. And the man is worried, he's been told by his handlers that you must move in there. And meanwhile, they are also concerned, and they stopped, that the change movement is being driven in the Southwest. Yes, from the Southwest.
And the support base is
that is why, if
more...
you look at the social media, if you look at the issue, what is in the mood of the country, it's always been driven by the Southwest. And that is why the man is spending more time in Lagos.
In the Southwest.
Abdurrahman from Niger State, thank you for joining E15. Abdurrahman. Hello, Abdurrahman. Okay, Abdurrahman is out. Jide, the influence of these traditional rulers on their subjects in the Southwest.
Correct.
Yeah, they have some influence, no doubt about it. They have some influence. You see that even in Lagos here, the Ambodis of this world, the Agbajes, they've been paying homage to traditional rulers and asking for their support. I've seen Yayi, the hugely popular
senator to be,
for Lagos West. I've seen him going from one traditional ruler to another to receive blessings. Look, if they felt that these traditional rulers were insignificant, they wouldn't be going for them. There are some traditional rulers in Yoruba land who are very influential and who have some influence on their people.
Some have it.
You talk about the Oni of Ife. He has influence, political influence on his people. He's always been like that. You have the Alaafin of Oyo. He's always been like that. And you know, even during the Awolowo days, Alaafin was, his sympathy was for the MPN, you know. But somehow, he's always had his people behind him, even politically, you know. So, something happened last week that President Jonathan went to Oni of Ife, and one of the biggest rivals or the biggest critics of Oni of Ife among traditional rulers is Obasikiru Adetono. Because if you read his book, you know, Obasikiru Adetono said that, look, Oni is not qualified to be the paramount ruler of the Yoruba race. And he cited historical sources and all that. So now Jonathan must have felt, this man will feel slighted that I've gone to see his rival and I've not come to see him.
So you have to
So
understand
it's,
the
you are,
dynamics.
it's politics. You have to balance things up. That's the
Let me
reason
quickly
why.
take this
it's
call.
when
Abdulaziz from Niger State. Thank you for joining E15. Bashir from Niger State.
Yeah.
Hello, Bashir.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
we
Yeah,
can,
we
we
can hear
can.
you.
Muna Jinka.
Okay. Pertaining to the issue of IBB. Yeah, okay. You know, most of the time, people have this belief that IBB is like the godfather to Nigerians. So once you want to contest, like for the seat of governorship or president or maybe even a senate, they believe without the endorsement of IBB, you cannot be. So I think it's now time for Nigerians to show all that, I don't know how to even put it, maybe ignorance of believing in such belief with IBB.
Thank you, Bashir. Thank you for your contribution, Bashir. Reaching home stretch now. So, Jide didn't finish the other time?
Yes, I said he must have felt that, well, let me balance things up. You know, I went to see his rival. I need to see him too.
Okay.
So that's why he's back. Of course, we know how Secretary Adetono, His Royal Highness, Secretary Adetono, we know how he feels about Nigeria. We know that he's one of the most radical traditional rulers around. Right from even Abacha, he confronted Abacha. You know? So we can predict on whose side he will be now. He will be on the side of the people.
Absolutely.
I'm very sure of that. You know, he will be on the side of the people. But you must still show him respect by visiting him. It's now up to him to refuse to back you or decide to back you. So that's exactly what the president is doing. You know, he needs, you see, these are difficult times for him, but he has to give this whole thing his best shot.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. So that at the end of the day, you won't blame him that he didn't try his best.
Ashoma, your last shot on this?
Let me take it away from this and just talk about, just briefly, on this, the 2 weeks extension by INEC for people to collect their PVC.
Okay.
I think it's very, very critical in some parts of Ogun. I went visiting to do a report,
Okay.
and I realized that in the whole of Akute, Shashi, Olambe, all those areas, you could only go to Ajunwon High School to collect your PVC. The entire area, you could only go to one place, and the INEC officials were nowhere to be found up till 1
We'll talk
PM.
about that tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It's still a big challenge, and we promise on this program to follow up the PVC issue. And Ogun State is a major challenge and concern. I don't know.
Well, to me,
Shots?
I think it's too late in the day for the president to be going around and visiting the traditional rulers. You know, the traditional rulers have their own traditional influence. Politically, to me, they're inconsequential.
Thank you very much for that submission, Aruna Abib. And that's our program for today on E15. Join us at the same time tomorrow as we examine other important issues relating to the election in Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. See you tomorrow.